The centaurs were dressed in warm clothes with fur collars, hats pulled down to their eyebrows, gloves, and even pants-like coverings for their animal parts. They were drinking tea and coffee when the port staff started to put up red three-cornered flags, with a red four-cornered flag with a black square in the center at the bottom. One of the fishermen said, "Northeast wind and storm." And he looked at the waves and continued, "The sea level has risen and is approaching 2 meters, your friends better go back. This sea is merciless and something bad could happen. Those clouds are also the ambassadors of this storm." Nova said, "So it's going to be a tough night and day, although they are very professional. I agree with you and they should go back." Jill and Matthew went a little further in the water. The water was up to their knees at low tide, although they could not go more than a few steps. They called Ella, Abigail, and the others and waved. The mermaids knew the signs of a storm perfectly, and being at sea was not dangerous for them, whether it was a tornado or a whirlpool. But when they saw the people next to them, they started swimming towards the shore. They moved forward a little with the help of their hands on the shore, when Alekin, Jill, Alexander and the others came to their aid. After a while, they took off their mermaid tails and joined the others by drinking a hot drink. A gentle wind also began to blow, which made the cold even more noticeable. After extinguishing the fire and collecting the remaining firewood and equipment, they all went to the restaurant after saying goodbye to the humans there. After getting rid of their diving suits, scarves, hats and gloves, they gathered by the fireplaces. Barbara said, "We must have water weapons, both because of the sharks and annoying people." Victoria said, "What happened to you?" "No, dolphins and sometimes orcas, but it's good to have." Jill said, "I saw it in the stores. I don't know how effective it is. I mean against a large number and even a school of sharks. The great white shark has its place." The restaurant was ready for dinner. The cold and the heat outside could be felt clearly from the women and men, children and girls and boys with red cheeks hurrying to the fireplaces before getting ready for dinner. The customers first went for hot drinks and then ordered soup, fish, steak, rice and kebab, and chicken and fries. Watching the fish and turtles in the aquarium also provided them with a good and relaxing time. Ella, Abigail, Madison, Nathan and William were not in the restaurant during the week but in Lake One, and they performed on the weekends so that no one would suspect that they were real mermaids and that their absence would cause Helga, the police force and some people to be sensitive and pursue them. Alekin, Breffin, Orenda, Eric, Benjamin and Victoria were responsible for bringing them to and from both places. The second lake was almost frozen due to the cold, which made it difficult for Crystal and the others to swim and provide fish. Therefore, they considered the upper floor for resting and sleeping and prepared it. The battle for freedom. With the end of training and other operations, they returned to the tanks. Since their arrival and captivity, their abilities were used alongside dolphins and whales who had received military training, espionage, and sabotage. Unlike dolphins and whales, sea creatures had abilities just like humans, such as holding and operating weapons, shooting, or bombing and kidnapping targets. A mermaid could read a map when necessary, identify her target among numerous targets, and eliminate them. The issue that had greatly frustrated the laboratory officials was that, contrary to the stories and legends that were told about them, their tails did not turn into legs on land in order to preserve their lineage, survive, and hide their existence. They had been tested many times and hung and placed in warm, dry, and closed environments. But to no avail? Dr. Harvard King, after initial successes and subsequent failures in the field of biotechnology in the elimination of blood clots in heart attack patients, which initially brought him fame, but in the advanced and human stage caused serious side effects such as gastrointestinal bleeding, hives and neurological problems, and the death of one of the patients due to a nervous seizure. This failure to eliminate the blood clot and the severe side effects of the drug caused the loss of his dedicated laboratory and his dismissal from the company. Louis Dodgson offered him a collaboration on a new project, that instead of pursuing new discoveries and taking risks yourself, let others discover it and let this so-called honor be theirs. That when an idea has gone through its trials and errors, and you realize that it is promising and has a future, invest in it and expand and nurture it. Select the good ones and improve them or change them in such a way that I can register it in my name and own it, then it is mine. Training intelligent animals from dolphins and chimpanzees to whales and even octopuses, and now these mermaids who came from other worlds and hatches. Before the people and the state officials realized, we realized, and now we have our own intelligent and dedicated army. Mermaids are very good and effective as protectors and support.